unfortunately won't be able to show that to you guys. But we're going to just get right into the first map here. It's going to be the map of Coastline. We will see you there. Alright guys, here we go. Going straight into the map bans. I'm obviously going to set up that overlay for you guys as well. That's not the correct team. And then I think if I'm correct, nope. There we go. Fang and Chromanite. Fang is going to be on the blue side. Chromanite being the orange team. Chromanite is going to ban first. Let's see exactly what band's going to be coming out. I'm expecting a Blackbeard here. We've seen Blackbeard come right off the picture almost every single match. I'm expecting Blackbeard to just go right off the board. Blackbeard possibly Blitz as well, but I'm expecting Blackbeard.
Yes, but considering the bans yesterday we had,
and
looks
just
as
like
though
that.
the Blackbeard, looks like as though the Blackbeard will be banned. But considering the bans yesterday, I'm expecting, hopefully, normal.
Yeah. We saw some interesting bans yesterday. Definitely threw us off a little bit. There was, what is it, Mira smoke ban. That was definitely very interesting. Blackbeard, not so interesting. He's banned almost every single time. It's going to be interesting. I'm saying maybe, I'm going to say a Blitz. Actually, Jackal.
Jackal.
So, obviously, the blue team of Fang want to get a strong roam game going, trying to eliminate at least some type of roam clear off of the board, and that's going to be Jackal, just like that.
Mira, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
We've seen Mira get banned so often in this league. Players are just going to have to learn to play without her at this point, because every single team this week 2 has at least banned Mira once or has had to play a map where Mira is banned. So obviously all the teams that played this week, they have the slight advantage because they've obviously worked with that, that meta and not being able to use the Mira. Whereas I guess teams that were possibly were able to schedule this week or have to schedule a different time, they're going to have to get used to that. As well as Pulse going off of the board. That is a roamer. Off of the board as well. On Coastline, you do see Pulse utilized somewhat, but I'm feeling the Mira is definitely a little bit more viable. And I think the Blackbeard and Mira are the two biggest ones, as they, I think, are going to make the most impact if they aren't banned. Whereas Jackal and Pulse, they have their gimmicks and they have their heres and theirs, but I really don't think they're that viable of an operator. And I think maybe those bans were kind of missed out, but they were also 10 times more normal than what we saw yesterday.
I would almost disagree with you, but I completely understand where you're coming from. The ban on the Pulse came from the defense once again, which is an interesting ban considering you're going to ban one of your information operators. Chromanite, not having the Mira, that's going to just have to change up their strategy so much that you almost need a necessity of Pulse in order to defend Clubhouse and Hookah Lounge. But Chromanite could just be wanting to kind of just play that for the attack so they don't have to go for that roam clearing kitchen for the penthouse take or for the hookah take. But it would be interesting how they're going to play that now without no Pulse.
Sometimes I think we see from teams, they almost forget what they're defending first, or if they're attacking or defending first. Because we saw yesterday, it was, if I'm not mistaken, the Karma game, Smoke got banned from the defensive team of Revolt, which is, that's not a ban you're gonna want. You want to have that smoke, you want to have that plant denial, you want to have that push denial operator, but the defense banned it, and obviously Revolt had the majority of the rounds played on defense, and I think that really bit them in the back, and it's kind of interesting to see. We see Chromanite kind of do the same thing you say with the Pulse, so it's a little bit interesting to see maybe they just have a brain lapse, or there is that thought of, okay, well, if we do take this to attack, we don't have to worry about that operator anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting to see if they're going to destroy their own selves in defense and almost put them in such a big hole where they can't make the come out of.
Yeah, exactly. They're almost digging their own grave, and then it seems they're trying to rely on the attack, but they potentially they could potentially lose all 5 rounds and only have 1 opportunity on attack, and they better make that count if they want to do that. as Reapus is trying to lay a couple shots already from the glass. Just a very tight angle there into A, and he just misses the rotate by a sliver and unfortunately cannot land the kill. So we are seeing a pretty sight focus. Actually, as just I say that, the commentator's curse strikes as I see Mute and Wolfie, well, Cheese and Wolfie are going to be in a somewhat roam position. Obviously, Cheese is in a significantly deeper roam than the Jaeger. But pretty sight focus here. There's not much really kind of going for them. Obviously, without that pulse, you won't have that presence in kitchen. But I still think you see a little bit more.
Yeah, it's interesting too. That's kind of enabled the attack to just go ahead and take control of VIP and just go and easily get that VIP roll, which is something you typically do not want to see from the attack when you're defending on the site.
Yeah, they've already gotten control of VIP completely. It's in the attacker's hands. That Jaeger has not moved yet, so he's probably just waiting for that patience and possibly could get a nice flank here. He does try to land a couple shots on the Ash. Finally takes down the Ash, and Chromanite's going to be off the board for for Fang. Just like that, advantage is going forward to Fang. Fang actually have planted the diffuser down and all that. Getting that VIP control has definitely proven to be a quick plant situation, and now forcing a retake here from the defense. This is not looking good for the defensive team here. Two attackers are basically hiding behind the counters. Regrets gets a great kill onto the Capital. Could potentially go for the defuse here. He's not going to see the operator behind him. He's in a very tough spot right now. He is joined by his friend Echo, but his friend right next to him goes down, and so does the Echo. My fault. The Echo actually gets the kill onto the glass, and Gavin goes down at the same time. What I thought was two trades out from the attacking team was actually a trade out from the defenders, and they were able to win that round.
The defenders let the attackers take VIP completely uncontested, but then the attackers let two defenders just take the retake, basically.
Yeah, it seemed as almost we could have seen right there Chromanite were inviting them in. That's why they didn't have that VIP control. They forced that plant maybe to come down, and then they wanted the retake to happen. That's why you saw Jaeger in that, he was close to sight, but he was still in a roaming position where he doesn't want to move for a majority of the round. And we saw, I think, maybe just inviting them in through VIP, they fell into the trap, and I mean, I guess Fang paid for it.
That's true. Looks as though Fang will actually be dropping the glass for the REDCUBE.
And also a Lion as well, so roam clear is looking to be a priority, even though we didn't see much of a roam from the defensive team last time. Maybe trading out for guns, possibly, I don't know, but maybe expecting a little bit more of a roam here as well.
It's going to be definitely going to be an interesting attack from Fang.
Yeah, we're seeing a pretty interesting lineup. We have Twitch, who can get rid of, Miras, but we don't have a Mira. And obviously she can utilize herself to get rid of those Echo drones and those Legions as well. So she's still very viable. And all the other operators, Ash and Aoeah, good soft destructors. But you don't have a hard destructor. You have REDCUBE and Lion, who will prioritize the roam instead of maybe a Thermite, maybe a Habana, who can just open up a couple walls. Obviously, going on to Hookah, you don't necessarily need as much hard destruction because you can come in through this A door, you can come in through the back of B as well, but you still kind of would like to have a Habana maybe open up some kill holes and maybe open up holes here and there. So it's really interesting to see that there is no hard destructor coming up for Fang.
Yeah, it looks like like you mentioned that Fang is actually just straight up focusing for roam clear, even though they know that Chromanite isn't running that strong of a room.
Yeah, I think maybe that Jaeger threw them off a little bit last match, as I want to quickly go back here and see if there is really anyone roaming. No, it's really significantly sight focused again. But I think that Jaeger, yeah, there's basically everybody is in sight except actually the Legion and Cheese are both in, well, Legion is very close to sight as well. He was just trying to go for a cheeky peek. But the only roamer really being the Mute here. And I think maybe that Jaeger last round threw Fang off, thinking that there was a deep roam, just because one of their players went down to the one roamer. If you do see REDCUBE come in, and with that line and the calls, That is exactly why you do pull those operators out, but it has only utilized 1 kill at the expense of not bringing a hard breacher and at the expense of a lot of utility used for just 1 person roaming.
But that is a pick within the first minute onto the defending side, and especially onto Mute, who has a Nitro Cell, which can be a very pivotal secondary gadget, especially in a plant situation. I don't know if the Mute should be roaming instead of, say... Actually, I don't think this is a roam... This is not a roam defense at all.
Yeah, no, not even
close. Yeah, no. There shouldn't be any type of roamers, especially the Mute playing that far off site and roaming solo on top of that. That's the situation you definitely don't want to be in as a Mute player. Also,
when you have a C4 on this map, you're looking for that under the floor C4 just to take maybe the plant down. But we have no intel operators here. You have Maestro who can possibly mark someone on site, but you want to get maybe a Valkyrie, just a little bit more set of eyes, and you also want to have that Mira as well, but you don't have that Mira, you don't have that band. So it's really interesting to see Mute roaming so far deep with a very unfavorable lineup for a deep roam. It's kind of an odd defense here. Sophia is actually going to be able to get that kill on the, that was the Maestro, just walked into the bullets. And Gavin, that is getting the first frag of the day for him. Lesion is in a very nice position here. He's just waiting for that Lion to come around the corner. Lion's actually going to drone out at the exact wrong time, and Lesion's able to get the kill, but can he get 2? He does, and just like that, the round is over. Trades coming out very, very quickly at the end there. Gavin did get 1 kill, but Wolfie was able to finally get the kill onto the Twitch, and a great shot there into Luggage in 2 defensive rounds won, where actually both rounds, if I'm not mistaken, defense were down players early on.
Yep.
And we also saw this time there wasn't a plant down, so there wasn't a retake, but it still seemed as if Fang had a lot of the momentum, had a lot of kind of the key points pointing towards them. It just seems the clutch plays were in favor here of, obviously, Chromanite. They were the ones that pulled it out in the end.
It's interesting, too, how that Lion decided to drone in such an open area, especially when you don't have cover in front of you.
Especially, also, you don't have a player behind you, maybe supporting you when you do drone. Most of the time, you ask for a different player, hey, can you drone ahead for me? So if someone does come pushing out, I can still shoot them, and you can give me the intel. Whereas we saw Lion in that situation, he droned himself in a very open area with no support from his players, and really just walked into that kill from the Lesion. That was probably one of the easiest kills the Lesion is ever going to get.
That is true.
And Twitch was with the Lion, and don't get me wrong, there was support there, but the moment that Lion died, Twitch just sprinted away. Almost scared to fight that gunfight, almost scared to go face on face with the Lesion. And in the end, Lesion was able to just pop her head when she was rotating through Luggage.
Interesting enough, looks like the attacking side will actually default back onto the glass for obvious reasons, but they will stick with the Lion.
We are seeing a hard destructor come out here, which is huge. I think just maybe get open that VIP wall again, but they don't want to fall into the same trap. If Chromanite invite them in like they did the last time, I think we might be seeing a similar round, a similar strong retake from Chromanite, and possibly just going right in favor again of Chromanite.
With the glass, I mean, with Reapus being on the glass now, do you think that we'll see a different retake or post-plant situation this time?
What I'm looking for from Reapus is, if I'm not mistaken, the Glaz last round, he did get picked off fairly early. I think he was holding down the east window, if I'm not mistaken, and then got, I think, gunned down on the east window. He actually dropped into bathroom and got gunned down in bathroom. I'm expecting here, I think Reapus needs to just hold down that east window a little bit stronger and just take his time with it. Don't go for frags. You are the operator that Fang is looking for to just stay late in the round and then provide that cover for the plant, provide that cover for the retake, and just kind of pick everybody off that is rotating back in sight. So I think Reapus just needs to be a little bit more patient this round.
And interesting enough, Cheesecake M&M's will actually be playing inside of Aquarium's instead of Security Center in order to stop this. Looks like the take from Hookah. I would say that's a good idea, but once again, you're the Mute off-site, which is not what you want to do. You need to save that Nitro Cell. But actually, he has rotated back into what I like to call the Rook spot, because you just typically see Rooks playing there all the time. But it's still really interesting the fact that Cheesecake M&M's is going to play super aggressive, you know?
Yeah,
not
it's
super aggressive, super deep roam.
Yeah, and I'd actually expect the Jaeger to be the one in that deep roam position, but Jaeger is sitting in sight, actually, and is actually going to be met with the opening of this VIP wall. And he's actually in a really nice position here. If he gets the callouts properly, he could see a couple frags come out. He does get one. He's going to turn left and get another. And the diffuser comes down. Can he get 3? Gavin finally shuts down that Jaeger, but a great position for that Jaeger to be in. And he capitalizes on every single pawn that is in his favor. Great play there from the Jaeger. And now it's going to be 3 left here for the attacking side. And diffuser is also down. Lion is going to go down. It's going to be up to the Glaz. Glaz was a lot more patient this round, but now he has to be a little bit more aggressive. He does get one. And he's going to find himself pushing in through Hall of Fame, but that smoke, so valuable. He's going to stop that push right in its tracks. Glaz actually missing the shot onto the Echo. I think he might have thought he got it, but the Echo is still somehow alive. If I'm not... Is he? Is it? On the animation, it looked like it wasn't, but... Plant is, no, either way, Plant is going to be coming down. Fake Plant, and he can get the down but not out there. Reapus finally finishes off the kill. 20 seconds left. They got to get this Plant.
Diffuser will be going down. Neohawk in a close situation. There's a time the diffuser will go down. It's just a 1v1 situation. Reapus low HP. And Neohawk will get the peak and
actually, diffuser didn't go down.
Diffuser did not go down, I'm sorry.
Oh,
but
I thought it was down as well, and then when we saw Neohawk get the kill, I was expecting him to quickly run over to the back left corner and pull out that hacking device and get the defuse, but obviously, somehow, I don't know how it didn't go down. Was he killed when he was planting it, or?
Yes, he was. It looks like it was actually picked off by the mute from downstairs, considering how the Glaz was aiming downstairs afterwards. It
must have been what it was, and then, obviously, Glaz did get the trade, but wasn't able to trade up even more and get the kill on the Echo. So unfortunate there. That was a little bit of a tough round for Fang. Once again, it seemed as if everything was in their favor for a majority of that match. Yes, they had a couple players go down early, but they brought it back. And I think just Chromanite right there had the mental game, and they were just a little slightly stronger.
Yeah, you know, you nearly saw Chromanite actually throw that round because you just had players peeking when you shouldn't, you know?
Hold up. Look at this scoreboard for Fang. That's way too top heavy. We are seeing 3 zeros from Verbal, Sabo, and Comedy. The only players to get kills for Fang has been Reapus and Gavin. You can't do that. If you are putting yourself in this, you know what I think is showing here? I think all of the roster changes have definitely thrown these players off a little bit. I think we haven't really seen a consistent Fang team, and I think that's what might be throwing them off.
I definitely think with practice, this Fang team would become slightly better. Like you said, the roster changes really have messed them up, but it also, like I said, it could be down to personal skill level in general and just their mindset. After you lose 3 rounds in a row like this, especially that whenever you had the advantage, it was first round, you had the advantage, and then you just throw it all away. When you lose 2 more rounds in a row, I definitely feel like the attacking squad of Fang are definitely at a mindset right now where they're not
playing together.
Yeah, they're not playing together, not communicating as well. They just don't feel as a team, basically.
Yeah, it seems as if after the first... Oh, as Dokubi's going to go down early, I don't know who peeked. I'm going to quickly try to transfer. It was the mute through the drone hole. Could possibly get the Zofia as well. And he does. Wow, that was just lack of map understanding, I think. Actually, no, wait, Dokubi got killed from Ruins. And he actually is finally going to get a kill from Ruins there. That is going to be the Valkyrie. Very aggressive defense so far from the Chromanite team. And it's proven to take down 2 operators with just about a minute in here.
That's just bad communication among... That's a bad communication among Fang's part. Fang has been making so many simple mistakes, that's what's gonna kill him in the here.
Yeah, I think Fang are just kind of going into a lot of these rounds and once a player goes down, they kind of lose track of exactly what they want to do. And obviously getting 2 picks early like that, this round I think is definitely going to go in favor of Chromanite. We've seen when players actually do survive late in the round, Fang kind of start pulling it together, but Chromanite still, either way, have been the more powerful squad and more organized squad in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you can even see here, like, the only trade, or the only, like, hindrance that came out onto Chromanite, actually, as the mute will fall to the Ash, was the mute. He lost a bit of HP, but now you got your Ash, your REDCUBE, and your Lion all at less than 100 HP. Meanwhile, the
entire defensive squad, full health, haven't even seen a gunfight yet, but you're also 2 players down as well. So we could see Reapus here maybe get the peak. He is holding a tight angle, but look at time is ticking down, and there hasn't really been any site push or site contest at all. No pressure on the defense here to control site, but Reapus is actually going to finally get the frag on that smoke. I think the smoke peaked just a little bit too much. And now 3-on-3 here. Could this be the round where Fang keep it together? You're going to see Verbal is going to be lesioned, and Ash is just going to get somebody running right into a crosshair. She's going to be in luggage, and that is going to be called out here. And 20 seconds left. The push is going to have to come in. Verbal gets taken down. It's going to be all up to the Ash now. Trying to find her way into A. She does have the diffuser, but it's not going to be enough. One moment here, Damaging. I'm going to leave you with the screen for just a second. I will be right back. Something just came up that is I have to address as soon as possible.
All right. Fang on that defense. I'm sorry. We keep saying Fang has such a bad attack, but Fang, or that part of this entire Fang losing 4-0 can also be attributed to Chromanite's defense. They have been holding it strong, They have been getting the picks early, rotating back the site, and then that's it. Like, after they get the picks, they rotate back the site, and they just play it slow. That's what Fang has not really been doing. Or they haven't even had a chance to do yet. As we do see the 6th pick of the Bandit go to the Jaeger, and Ying's going to stay the same. Looks like it's going to be a typical take for Penthouse Theater from Fang, which actually hasn't worked out for him at all. But that's partially due to many of the mistakes that Fang has made. When the Zofia, what's happening now is that, like Red and I both said, Fake Squad, Fang is not playing together. They are not droning properly, and also they're just letting each other get picked off. Hey, Red.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fun. I was just explaining about how Fang's not playing together. It's okay.
All right, yeah, sorry about that, guys. There's currently right now I have a house in Chicago, house in Colorado, and there's a wildfire near my house in Colorado, and we actually just got a call from the fire department there, so I just wanted to make sure everything was like good with the house. So that's why I had to quickly just answer that call. Sorry about that, guys. I'll be back here. All my attention is now back on the game. Sorry about that. But obviously going back up to the Penthouse hold here, we've seen Chromanite do it successfully. Well, we've seen every defense has been successful, and Wolfie, what a kill by him! Well, someone just peeked the glass, and that's not a situation you're gonna win every day. But Wolfie, with that ACOG, I think yes, he does have the ACOG equipped on Maestro, is able to take down the glass very early on. We've seen how Fake Squad collapses when the player gets down early on. His Wolfie just continues. Will Fake Squad Fang be able to pull it back here?
I don't think so, to be honest with you. It looks like Wolfie read that situation so well. He knows the glass has been repelling up there every single time they have defended, and Wolfie just decided, you know what, why not? Let's pick an ACOG and peek him. That's exactly what he did. And he ended up working for him. After that pick, he just decided, you know what, screw it. We got picks, let's play fun. Yeah,
and we've seen, as Kometi is able to get a kill, but Kyra is able to just trade it out, just like that. A run out, actually, from Kyra is able to put Verbal in a down but not out stage. So it is essentially 2v4 as he is going to be getting picked back up. We could see Jaeger going out for the run out once again. Are they expecting 2? They are not, but he's not going to be able to land his shots. Kyra just not looking correctly down that crosshair. Was not able to land his shots. It brings Verbal down to about 25 health here. Lots of health has gone off the board, but also we've seen 2 players for Chromanite here kind of walk into their own death, but they've also done it in a way that has been so risky that it's been rewarding as well.
You've already lost your glass. You've already lost your thermite, and you've already lost your ying. I don't feel like
you still have a minute left as well.
Yeah, and you still have a minute left, and your Thatcher's basically in 1 hit. I don't think that Chromanite, sorry, not Chromanite, Fang will be able to come back on this one.
Yeah, and they also, the defense still has a smoke, still has an echo. All plant and entry denial is still there. The only person you're missing is that intel from the Maestro, but he did his job. He got 2 huge kills, and now it's all up to the player with who can just trip over his shoelaces and it's going to get taken down. And just like that, Regrets is able to take down Verbal. Fang is definitely not looking good here. Verbal is just, I think headphones were misleading him there. You gotta expect that peak though. If one player dies next to you in bathroom, you gotta expect they might be running out for me next. You have to watch that doorway, maybe put your back in the corner, and then make sure you're not getting shot from behind. But also in that situation, when he is all by himself, he's not going to be able to, I guess, do anything big, especially against a Chromanite team that has looked so strong this entire time. We are seeing the rotate here, but all confidence right now is completely in favor of Chromanite. There is... what was that?
I was about to say, and the question is, will that confidence carry over into map 2?
I'm gonna be honest. This is what we need to see from Fang if they don't want that confidence to carry over. They need to get a couple wins here on defense. They need to bring it back to maybe 6-3, 6-4, because that means they can win it on defense. The next map, we're going to see Fang on defense first, obviously, because it is the rotate of the map, so they rotate sides as well. So I think the confidence will definitely carry over, but it won't carry over as much if we see Fang pull out a couple rounds here. But if Fang go out on this round and it's just going to be a 6-0, for sure that confidence is just going to keep riding in. It's going to be nonstop. It's basically, you can't stop a train, and this train is already starting to chugga-chugga-choo-choo its way along. And right now the only thing they can do is apply the brakes, but if they don't apply those brakes correctly, we're just going to see it, I think, snowball effect into something bigger and badder than it already is now.
I'm willing to say if Chromanite's able to get the 6-0, I'm going to say it's our first 12-0 victory in this league.
That is a hot take. That is a very, very hot take. I'm expecting Fake Squad to put it up a little bit on map 2, but if they don't win this round, it's going to be insanely difficult for them to do so. Fake Squad right now, Fang right now, they're not playing as a team, and they need to hit the hard reset soon, because all of their members are just all over the place. They're all, I think, most likely the comms right now have to be a mess. Just the way they've been playing, it looks like those comms are a mess. They have to be maybe possibly starting to argue with each other, and that's just a recipe for disaster. They put all of the bad components into a mixing pot, and they're starting to mix that pot up. They just have to, I mean, throw that pot out the window at this point because it's not working at all for them. Do get a little bit of a lag spike there. Sorry about that. But we are seeing it's a little bit of a slower push. We've seen Chromanite. They were very aggressive on defense. They seem to be in a little bit passive here on offense, which is maybe they don't want to choke up and they don't want to. I think they're scared of choking. Maybe that's why we're seeing a little bit of a slower take, or they're just waiting for all of their players to get into the correct position. As VIP has already been really given up here to the Thermite, he is going to be waiting on this Jaeger, though, for the run-out. As actually, not the run-out, the peak here. Thermite is going to see the Jaeger, but not able to land the shots, and he finally does. Why would you re-peak that? You know
especially against an ACOG.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's a long angle. Yes, Jaeger has the firepower. Don't get me wrong. He has a great gun. But long angle held by an ACOG, you're not going to win that any day of the week. Especially against players who are in this league who are, I mean, fairly skilled. You're not going to win that battle at all. And that was a very, very dumb re-peak there. And he already put his team down 1.
But we do see the Bandit coming in for the flank, which might be able to do something. as Glaz will get the pick onto the Legion. Also, going for the pick on the smoke, does not able to connect shots.
You still see this Glaz smoke battle is proving to be something very tough for them to handle, and somehow Smoke is able to escape with his life and could potentially be going for the flank here with Bandit. They need to move in quickly here because I think Plant is going down. And yes, it is. We have to see this flank now from the Fang squad. And Bandit just goes back inside. Why would he go? I'm really confused with that play, as Smoke is actually able to get one flank there. That is one good roam kill. Now it's 3-on-3. But just like that, Bandit is going to be going down. Cheese is going to be going down as well. And it's going to be all up here to Verbal. Verbal not able to land the shots on the Dokkaebi. And he's just not even aiming down sight. And there's just bodies on top of bodies pushing through that door, pushing through the left side of the room. There's not much he could have done in that situation. But just looking at the movement there from Verbal, he froze. He completely froze. He knew his team was basically down and out of this game. And it seems like not only, I'm not trying to put all blame on Verbal here, everybody on that team froze. It was a 6-0. Whenever it's a 6-0, something went wrong. And I think, I mean, just looking at that scoreboard, not enough kills to go around for Fang here.
Definitely not.
So Chromanite are able to win the first map in very, very convincing fashion. And like you said, if they won that 6-0, you're expecting the first 12-0 here. And if Fang can't figure out exactly what they're doing wrong and figure out a way to fix this, I'm going to be honest, I might be agreeing with you here. But we'll be right back, guys. It will be about a 5-minute break here just to let all the players kind of go over a couple things. This is a time for especially Fang to talk about lots of things that they need to take away from that match. Maybe hit the hard reset button and they can come back a lot stronger than what we saw right now. Be back in about 5 minutes. Alright guys, we are back here on the map of Oregon. Obviously, that was Fang's map, so they had a pretty tough loss on their own map. And as I'm trying to get the... there it is. So now we go on to Chromanite's map, which is the map of Oregon. And we need to see better play from Fang on almost every single aspect of the game, as the first band coming out again from Fang is Jackal. That is the second time they've banned Jackal. So obviously they do not like to have... well, they're also on defense first this time, so they obviously might be going for a pretty deep roam strat here. What do you think?
I would consider that, yes. Also, Chromanite's kind of been known to kind of run Jackal. With
coming off the board as well.
maybe we shouldn't be like criticizing Fang. Maybe it was a Chromanite's defense is incredible. Actually, as we see the Mira ban yet again.
Jeez.
Not surprising at this point.
Yeah. So in the first couple of weeks, you're like, what? Mira coming out? And now it's just like, oh, Mira's coming out. It's really just become something that is so common. And Echo as well. So sometimes you see Smoke come out. Well, actually, not sometimes. We saw it once. Echo kind of holds the same role as Smoke, in my opinion. Just that plant denial and that entry denial. Smoke is more entry denial. Echo is complete plant denial. So there goes your plant denial, and also there goes your Mira on defense. So looking at these bans, defense or offense, which one's favored?
I mean, I'm going to say offense. You don't need... The defense is making the same mistake that Revolt did yesterday. They're banning their own intel operators.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's not something you want to do, especially when you're on defense and you have Mira off the table. It's just a no-go.
It seems like we said this last map even. It seems sometimes the defensive team forgets that they're the ones going on defense, and they ban operators that you're like, don't you want to use him? Don't you want to utilize him or her? Obviously, there are girl and boy operators. So we're seeing here Echo and Mira come out, and Mira being the pick from the defense. It's really, really odd. I feel Mira, especially on Oregon, especially... Wait a second. Look at the defense we're going to. Look. What?
A kitchen hold without Mira, without Castle, without Echo is nearly impossible. And the fact that Fang picked this site first is
just letting you guys all know, sites don't get banned, okay? You can go to any site. I'm at a loss for words. This is the most interesting site pick we have ever seen. The only team that can excel at throwing a team off with sites is Pathos. Pathos are so good at every site on the maps they know. Every map that you've seen that is obviously the map they chose for Pathos, you see them go to sites that you're like, oh, that's a little bit questionable. But what I'm looking at from Fake Squad, what I saw from them last match, they're not on the same level yet of Pathos. And I think going to this site and not going to a so much more viable site, as we also see Maestro with the shotgun.
This is very questionable play, to say the least, from Fang.
I'm really confused here. I'm confused. I'm going to be honest. I think the attacking team is also confused. So, yes, it does have that confusion factor. Yes, it throws the other team off a little bit. But is that risk really worth taking when you go to a site as unviable as Kitchen? Especially without a Mira and an Echo? I'm really at a loss here. I think what we're seeing is a typical take of Kitchen. Actually, some people don't even know what a typical take of Kitchen is because Kitchen is just never seen. So I'm not even going to call it that. But Wolfie is able to get the first frag onto Cometi. I don't exactly know. Oh, no, that was Legion watching the window. Had a very aggressive peek onto the window. But we do see Reapus able to get a kill onto Regrets. Regrets actually pre-fired that angle, but Reapus just had the better crosshair placement. I think was able to land that headshot there. So we're seeing a pretty roam-heavy, well, not necessarily roam-heavy, but it seems as if they've put operators in places to buffer this attack. And so we see Gavin here essentially roaming as Smoke. Yes, he's very close to sight, but he's also in a position to stop this push from the west window. He's able to get one kill. We could potentially see the first win on Kitchen in such a long time.
I think this might just be due to the fact that it just thrown Chromanite so off. Yeah, they're not expecting this at all.
And obviously it's actually a very interesting way of playing it. They are playing it. They're buffering the attack. They're putting players onto choke points. We do find Mira all by herself in sight. She's going to be called out. And it's just 2 operators left here for the offensive team. And Gavin is able to get 1, get 2, and then Reapus is able to get the last one. We just saw a defending team win on Kitchen without a Mira and without an Echo.
They also lost the Legion in the first 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Well,
I'm sorry, the defense lost it.
the defense lost. That's interesting. But the thing that does then is that's one site off of the board that you really don't have to worry about anymore. But with this rotation site perimeter, it doesn't really come into effect. But that still shows we could see Fang here are an all-site team on Oregon, where they have all of the Oregon strats mapped out. Because we really could just be seeing a strong defense here from Fang, as we just saw them take down one of the hardest sites on Oregon. Or
once again,
the hardest site on Oregon.
I'm not trying to say anything, nothing against Fang here. They're still individually talented. But I feel as though that site pick, Chromanite had no idea how to push that. You can see here, Bono is by herself trying to go and just push into Couch all by herself without pushing out without pushing the rest of the team, while the rest of the team just gave the smoke the 1v1 encounters, and he was able to get picks. The attack was just riddled with mistakes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel we saw a lot of the offensive team there walk into their own death, walk into the crosshairs of the other team, and that's what changed the round. It wasn't, I don't mean to bog down on Fang here, it wasn't necessarily the strats and the mental game of Fang there. It came down to the individual play of both teams, but I think more the individual play or the individual lack of play from Chromanite there. I think that's what really was the difference maker in that round. And now we go back down here to Laundry Room, which is a site that everybody is 10 times more familiar with. And I think this is when we start to see Chromanite start running away with it again like we saw last match. Or potentially, we might see the very, very strong defense that we saw. I mean, it wasn't necessarily strong, but we could say lucky defense we saw from Fang come out again here.
This all could be partially due to the fact that coming off a 6-0 of Chromanite, they could be completely overconfident. And that kind of showed in their gameplay. They just expected to outgun, outbeat, and just kind of outstrat Fang, which didn't work out. And
another thing to note is obviously your bold prediction of 12-0 is unfortunately not going to be already
the 12-0.
Yeah, it's already out of the picture.
12-1.
But what would be really interesting here is what if out of some way we see the tide completely turn here? What if Chromanite go down in this map and we see a map 3? Who do you expect to win in that map 3? You'd have the confidence surging for Fang, but would the individual skill take over from Chromanite?
I feel as though Clubhouse is a more strat-heavy map, especially the new Clubhouse. So I'm expecting Chromanite to still be able to pull through on map 3.
As Verbal is going to be going down. Verbal had a very tough game, and Regrets is also going to be going down. Now we're seeing Chromanite really start getting rolling here. They are attacking a site they're so much more familiar with, and I think they might have had a little bit of a friendly slap in the back to let them know that, hey, it's not going to be as easy as you thought. Maybe start playing a little bit better. The last call is going to be coming out there from the REDCUBE. It's going to force all of the defenders to answer. All of the defenders have rotated back down the site as well. Complete control of the map, except this part there. The site is here for Chromanite. Now they are just going to be looking for the push. They have 50 seconds here. Lots of time to organize something, especially against 3 defenders when they have 5 attackers. It is looking really good here for Chromanite. As just like that, Legion is going to be going down. That was a very interesting peek. Prone on the floor, able to get the kill. And it's going to be up to the very low Maestro and the very low Smoke. Maestro is pushing his backside here. We could see the drop potentially come out here from the Thermite. Maybe try to catch that Maestro out. But Habana is actually going to be going for the plant. Does she have enough health to withstand the Maestro? And she doesn't need it, as Cheesecake and Kyra are able to take down both of the defenders simultaneously. As we actually see, what a great drop down shot there from Chromanite. I think that was Kyra. What a shot, what a play there to close out that round. That looked like the Chromanite we saw last match, for sure.
I feel like after that, after they got beat and embarrassed on the kitchen defense, Chromanite definitely did pick it up, and they realized what to do. And you can see that the drone work, able to get meeting control so quickly and at such a rapid pace is especially, or the fact that the age of the teams are definitely showing up right now in that push.
Yeah, for sure. We saw this yesterday when it was Karma going up against who was it? Why can't I think of the name? Revolt. We saw the age of the teams coming out there. The drone work, the communication, just the organization of things was in favor of Karma the entire way. We saw that exact same playstyle not only in the first map of Coastline here, but we also just saw that in that round prior to this. Because we saw just complete drone work. We saw all of the map get cleared out in in about a minute, and then all they had to do was focus on site. And when you have 5 bodies focusing on site where 3 defenders are left, you're putting all your money on that attacking team. They have all of the pawns in their favor. They have complete map control. They only have to go for site. You're expecting that to be a pretty simple win and a simple take for the attacking team. And that combined with just the great communication, great drone work, and just great overall experience play there from Chromanite, that's why they got that round.
It's interesting, actually. They've now switched the REDCUBE off for a Blackbeard. I'm actually thinking that Chromanite thought that this was going to be a kids defense.
Kids defense, yeah. I don't think they expected them to go back downstairs. But obviously, Blackbeard is one of those operators. Yes, he has his sights, and yes, he has his kind of special spots and special areas he can come out in. But he's one of those operators that you can essentially take him to any site, any gunfight, anywhere. He's gonna change that match somehow. He is an operator that is used and is so strong in the game. Any site, anything really, he's gonna be able to just have something to say about it, if that makes sense.
It's also interesting enough here that it's gonna be hard for the attacking side to clear out the roamers, especially without any attackers that favor that roam clear.
Yeah, we have no Jackal, obviously, because Jackal's banned, but we also don't have a Mira or a REDCUBE. So just the roamers right now are in a very good spot. They just have to win their gunfights, and they have to hold their angles. The first stun is going to be coming out there from Zofia. It's going to force Bandit to rotate a little bit down the stairs. But we see Zofia very stink, as actually Ash finds her way all the way downstairs with a 0 contest. As Kyra is able to get 1 kill there onto Repuse, actually a trade-off from each other, actually killing each other. And now the roam clear is finally becoming initiated by the Blackbeard and the Zofia. The mark is going to be coming out there from the Blackbeard. He's going to just have to look a little bit more left, and he's actually going to lose that gunfight. Great gunplay there from Gavin. And Ash tries to find her way into sight, but Verbal is just going to be sitting in that corner and is going to be going down for the reset. Very risky play there for the reset. When you have attackers obviously looking to push site, obviously right now none of them are. When you do a reset in the middle of site like that, that's always a little bit of a risky call.
That was interesting seeing as though the communication of Fang has actually seemed to actually increase. And it's gonna definitely help him in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing to note is I think the fact they thought there was going to be Kid's bedroom has really stifled the process of getting down into sight. It has slowed down this attack significantly. And that roam game here from from Fang has proven to be very, very successful, and that was the difference in this round. Obviously, it seems they just don't quite know where they want to push. They're finally choosing going for the construction hall area and going into the back of the basement. He is not able to get, nope, he is not able to get one frag. That did look like a frag he was going to be able to get, but finally defenders. Fang is looking a lot better here on Oregon.
Like I said, I definitely definitely think that's due to part of just kind of in between games, they were able to talk it up and just kind of get their mind straight and not going into this match as down and out and thinking that they're going to lose it. I definitely think that Fang is going to win this map.
Before we say anything, something I want to note is we actually see Verbal going on as kitchen and dining again. They've won it once, don't get me wrong, but I think lightning doesn't strike the same place twice. I don't think this is going to be... I don't know what to say here, because yes, we saw them win it, and it was a pretty solid defensive round overall, but I think we're going to see Chromanite come here in this game, in this match, in this round, going to kitchen. They're going to be a lot more organized. I don't know why we haven't seen upstairs, kids' dorm. That is a site that is considered, it could be considered as viable as basement. Obviously, not, some people don't agree with that, but it could be considered easily as viable as the basement hold, and we haven't seen it once here from Fang. And
again, that,
oh,
you got it, man.
No, I was gonna say, and just the last thing I wanted to note was, we've seen Verbal is a very, very passive player. We've seen him sitting in corners just holding angles down for a majority of the round. But he's actually going to be playing Jaeger, who is a roaming operator who has to be an aggressive defender. Is that going to work out here for Fake Squad, or are we going to just see that passiveness take over Verbal again and not really utilize himself as that Jaeger?
Jaeger can be played two ways. He can be played as, you know, the aggressive roamer, because his gun is the most damaging gun on defense. It's an assault rifle on the defensive side.
Yeah.
It can be played both ways. Being the passive, it's definitely good. You typically don't want to be Jaeger for that.
Mm-hmm.
It can help though whenever you get stuck in those sticky situations, and it can help you pull yourself out. At the same time though, if you want to be offensive with Jaeger, you can. But I think Jaeger will fit Verbal's playstyle, and it will actually end up benefiting him.
Actually, we don't see him playing passive in the... we actually do see him playing pretty passive, as he is just holding down one angle. But he's far off of some sight, and we're seeing a pretty deep roam from him. So, will we see that Jaeger really come into play, or could it get picked off early here if the drone work, if the roam clear is a lot more solid from Chromanite? Go ahead.
It's just gonna depend on how Chromanite decides to push and if they're able to hit their shots, to be honest, because you even see that they had the Legion playing back, but actually as the Sophia will get the pick on the Jaeger.
That peek there from the Jaeger, it was a smart peek, but the #1 rule in Rainbow Six is don't peek slowly. Verbal peeked way too slowly there, and his head's gonna come clean off. Zofia doesn't even need to watch that angle. If you peek as slow as Verbal just did there, that's an easy target. So I think just misplay there on the gunfight, and that was the reason we saw Jaeger go down so early. As we see the push onto the Legion here, he is completely trapped. There's absolutely zero place for him to go. If he gets one pick out of this, that would be great. He does not. And Regrets is put down a little bit of health, but Legion is cleaned up, and the roam game has been stifled, and is now finally up to the last two holding operators of Smoke. Is going to go down, and it's going to be all up to Maestro. Maestro does get one. Can he get a couple more? He has to get the ace to close this round out. He does get one kill. A great shot through the wall there. The plant is going to be coming down, though. Not only is he going to have to get an ace, but he's also going to have to retake. And it's going to be very hard to retake when you are dead. So there it is. Attackers taking the round on Kitchen. So, again, Lightning doesn't strike twice, obviously. And Kitchen was not probably the smartest option 2 times in a row. Well, not 2 times in a row, but 2 times in a map.
You know, maybe my prediction was wrong, and maybe Fang will not be able to take this out. Either way, they're going to take some... Going back over this VOD, they are going to learn a lot.
Kitchen again? I don't understand it. Obviously, we're not in the players' heads. We're not in their comms, and we can't really listen into what they're saying. But I'm really confused on why they keep choosing Kitchen. Maybe in practices, maybe in scrimmages, they didn't like upstairs. It just wasn't fitting with them, and they found Kitchen to actually be easier. But I mean, numbers just aren't favoring them. Every statistic on Kitchen, on Oregon, on the map as a whole, points to Kitchen as the worst site to defend. And the only other one being close at would be Backstage. We haven't seen that yet, but it's Backstage, right? Did I get that? Yeah, Backstage. Yeah. That is the only other site that would compete with the unviability of Kitchen. I really want to see. I want to, after this match, depending on who wins, obviously there will be the interview, and if we get an interview with Fang, I really want to ask them what is going through their head when they choose Kitchen so many times. I really want to know what is behind this choice, because in my opinion, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the reasoning behind this choice.
Yeah, especially after the attacking side just took that so convincingly last round too.
It was a flawless round, if I'm not mistaken, right? No, they lost 1, right? Or was it 2?
2.
2. Okay, it was 2. All right.
When they lost that one guy, there is only one player left on the defending side.
Yeah.
It's almost the definition of insanity.
Yeah, I mean. So actually, something to note here is yesterday, last round, we were talking about how Verbal was on the Jaeger and that we don't know if that fit his playstyle. He's actually found himself to rotate back to the Maestro, which is definitely a little bit more his playstyle, and then Sabo has decided to go with the Jaeger. Just something to quickly note there.
Which could have a serious, this could have a serious impact on this round, considering how aggressive the Jaeger of Sabo actually is. As you see here, he is going to try going to pick, but cannot land any of his shots and will rotate back to the bathroom.
He's actually going to be rotating back upstairs, so very deep roam here from the Jaeger, and could potentially pick out this IQ very early if he gets his timing correct. What was your question?
I forgot.
Oh, okay. But, let's see exactly where these roamers are. As we actually see a run out here from Jaeger, not able to land any shots. And he's going to run right into the face of Zofia. And the aggressiveness was there, but it was just a little bit too aggressive. And now it's really not looking good here for the defensive team. Everybody has rotated back down near site. Bandit being the only operator that is somewhat off of site. And Maestro is going to be going down. Verbal, I think, was rotating through a hallway. If I'm not mistaken, I wasn't able to quickly rotate over to him, but I think he was rotating through a hallway, which as a Maestro, as a 1-speed, not a very ideal situation to find yourself in. Bandit is in a really nice spot here. If he pulls off this flank, that's potentially 3 operators right off the board. As he is able to possibly get one, that is Diffuser as well. Yes, you don't want to repeat that angle, I know, but I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive on that push. Maybe go for a couple more in that same spot. Gavin is able to get down Regrets, and we do see Bandit rotating back to the other flank, and somehow, I have no idea how Neo did not see him. But either way, it doesn't matter. The eyesight did fool him, and now it's 2v2, but both of the defenders are extremely low, whereas the Thatcher and the Ash basically have full health. The bomb diffuser has been picked back up. We could see a plant go down in B as nobody is in sight. This is a roam is still really active here for Fang, and that's really not a smart plan. As we see Bandit's still looking to rotate back to site and is just getting distracted by the Thatcher. He's gonna be taken out as easy as that.
I want to say when the Habana was walking down White Stairs that she just didn't see him because of his ACOG.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
I don't want to criticize Fang that much since we have been going in on him the entire time. But it's not a good idea to typically go the site that you've lost, and you've lost it convincingly, even though you've won that site first.
Exactly.
Time, you know?
Yeah, and again, I don't mean to obviously target onto one team or criticize one team's play, but yes, sometimes if the play is working and we still criticize it, it will just there's still some critiques there that a easy counter can easily be pulled out. But what we're seeing is there's not necessarily a counter for choosing that site. It's just you have to play it correctly. The first time we saw Chromanite play that site, they were completely out of sorts. They didn't play it correctly at all. I think it was just a little bit of a shocker. But if you go that site again, it's not going to be as much of a shocker. They're going to know what to do. They're going to be a lot more organized. And like I said, lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice. You're not going to win kitchen again and again and again just because you got one lucky round. Quote unquote lucky.
Definitely. Do you think that, you know how sorry, getting a phone call. Do you know how on Coastline we had Chromanite has such a convincing defense with, you know, the 5-0 on the defensive side, the flawless defense. Do you think that's gonna translate onto Oregon?
I'm going to be honest, we're already seeing, this is the first time we're going to be seeing Kid's Bedroom. And when a team doesn't choose that site to guard, as we obviously didn't see Fang choose that site once, that could point to some issues on the attack as well, because they just don't know the strats yet on that attack. You know what I mean? And yes. I think if we see this first defensive round go in favor as Wolf is able to get a kill right onto REDCUBE, and that is going to be the ACOG peak with the Doc, always so deadly, and a player already down here for the Fang squad. If we see, I think Chromanite win this round, I think they're going to steamroll on this defense. I think they're going to be able to take every round on defense and end it 6-2. But if we do see a convincing answer, maybe not necessarily a win, but a 1v1 situation that gets brought down to, we could see Fang come out with a couple wins on offense here. So to answer your question, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting to note though. That's the REDCUBE gone with such an early pick. That's gonna allow the roam game to be so much stronger, especially when the REDCUBE cannot be countered, not countered, done with a lion, as we see some shots going on to the mute. I think that's just lost the ground basically at that point.
I think if they pick off this Lion first as well, but Lion is definitely playing considerably more passive, because I think he recognizes that if they pick off this Lion, as he's also already used one EE, 1D, which is actually used in a pretty smart situation because Comedy is able to get the kill onto Kyra, and Regrets is able to get the trade back onto Comedy. So I think that was the Mute who got the kill. No, that was... No, Regrets from up top actually able to catch the Comedy rotating through, what is that, Classroom? Yeah. So Capitao is moving in here into Meeting Hall, and the attack from Fang right now is very, very slow. It is taking a lot of time, and Mute is still on a pretty deep roam. We're seeing Chromanite really use this roam with Mute quite a lot. We saw it last time it as a missed smoke there from Regrets, but he finally is able to get it. Verbal able to get a kill on the Cheesecake, and has tied it up 3-3. That is going to be the Mute on the roam taken out of the picture, so it's all site focus from here on out from the attacking team. Sabo is able to get another kill onto that is Wolfie, the Doc. It's going to be all up to the Maestro and the Smoke. Having Smoke alive is a huge benefit, as another stun is going to be coming in here from the Lion. And I think he thinks he got the stun, but it's still a very, I think, premature push there from the Lion, as he just walks into 2 kills, and it's going to be all up to Verbal now. Can he pull this out? Regrets finally finishing off Gavin. It's going to be all up to Habana. She has Diffuser, so she could potentially go for the plant, but that's going to stifle any progress from the plant. She's actually going to be running in. Maestro is going to recognize it, and Regrets is going to be able to get the kill through the wall. Great communication from the team there, just knowing that Habana ran in. Right there we see it. Regrets didn't know Habana ran in, and then Maestro just called it out for him and could get that easy kill through the wall. That round was in favor of Fang for a good portion of the match. But like we said, without that Dokkaebi roam clear, we saw late in the round, Verbal was distracted to go get that mute. That took a lot of time out of the push, and then you just lost bodies and lost gunfights, and that was, I mean, easy as that. And unfortunately, that is another loss for Fang, and they're looking one match away here of Chromanite from match point.
You know what's also interesting is that you're seeing Chromanite in these positions that when one player dies, the second player is able to get the refrag nearly immediately. That means that Fang is yet to be able to do that. Chromanite is doing so well, like as a team, that it's just and playing so much better than Fang is as a team that it's showing so much.
And this is something we've seen throughout the matches. I think we're going, obviously when we go into playoffs, we won't see that as much. Not only will all the teams be very high competitive teams because they're all made it to the playoffs, but we would also see teams that have gained so much experience from the regular season. It's just, right now, Fang, as well as being just, my fault, such a new roster, and also just a very young team, that's where we're going to be. This is the week we're going to see a lot of miscommunications, a lot of lack of teamwork, or, I mean, well, teamwork or lack thereof. That's when we're going to really start seeing both sides of the spectrum very clearly. And right now, I think the side of the spectrum that is teamwork is Chromanite, whereas the side that is considerably not teamwork is Fang, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Red, I have a question.
Yeah.
You ever try to ASMR?
No.
Yeah, I mean, you leaned into your mic a few rounds ago, and it was something, man. Try it.
Dude, of course. I'm gonna change the Twitch channel to a ASMR channel.
Actually, you know, if you don't mind, I think Twitch chat would be happy if you were to
just
cast this round.
Cast this round in
really?
ASMR. Just very close to the mic.
Oh yeah,
Goodness.
that makes me feel good.
As we see the Wolf here is trying to push in, he does get the kill. Comedy is going to be going down early, and Wolf already very aggressive play, but it has paid off.
And as easy as that, that just might be how the casts are going to go from here on out, if we get the proper feedback that we need. But Ash off of the board, so that is your significant rushing operator and your very quick operator just taken off. But Cheese, the roamer, is going to be taken off, so that's a roaming operator off of the board as well. They still have to worry about Wolf here in Classroom, who is going to be seeing the push here from upstairs, and somehow Reapus is able to get the kill. Wolf had that angle held down, but just was not able to land his shots.
That's exactly why this poor aim on both parts, actually, I'll be honest here.
So no, go ahead.
You see it again, like, it might not have happened there, right? But Ash got picked off, and there was almost no retaliation from that for at least 30 seconds.
And that's what we've seen. Yeah, that's what we've seen from Fang this entire time. Whereas it's been a little bit of a different story for Chromanite. It's been almost immediate refrags. See Neilhawk in a pretty nice position here. Everybody has rotated back down to site, so the roam clear is really nothing they have to worry about at this point. So everybody's trying to focus all of their energy on site. Lion does have one more EE1D, no more logic bombs at use here, so it's just going to be all reliant on that EE1D if they want to get a plant down. Maybe something you see with the EE1D is always, once you get that plant down and the defenders have to retake that plant, that's when you see the EE1D come out. That's when you see it really being utilized.
And they still have what smoke nade left, and they also have control of the defenders' maestros. That can really change around, is having control of the maestros, especially when both the maestros are on site and giving you info on the defenders.
Yeah. As we see Buck in a very nice spot here, he's just not able to land the shots. How is Neilhawk still alive? And what a great toss by him, but Reapus is able to get the refrag, and Kyra is able to get the refrag, able to get two actually, and now it's all up to Gavin with 2 seconds left. This round is going back to the defenders.
You know, honestly, I think Gavin could clutch that out, you know? But I was going to say something about Gavin. Gavin should have dropped with his team there instead of having to watch, especially after you saw both people getting picked.
Yeah, I think.
But I mean, you know, sorry.
No,
in
go
that
ahead, go
that part of the situation, yeah, you're not really in that mindset. You're still kind of worried. You're like hoping that the plant gets down, and you're just worried that it's not.
You don't want to take, as obviously anyone in Rainbow Six, you don't want to walk to your death. So I think right there in that situation, Gavin told his team, hey, go scout it out first. If you don't get the frags, then I'll drop. But if he dropped at the same time, that I easily could have just lined up the offenders and it would have been a much easier kill. But I think if he dropped just slightly after, he would have seen that Maestro run out and also the Valkyrie rotate. Could have possibly gotten a couple picks there and prevent this match point from happening.
But even now, we see Chromanite coming off with such a, I wouldn't say dominant defense, but it's Chromanite's defense against Fang is basically, I don't know what it is about Chromanite's defense. Or it could just be Fang's attacking, but it is stop Fang in his tracks, as we do see a kid's door, typical push here.
And I think the thing we can point at as just a really, the biggest problem with Fang right now is just lack of teamwork. They don't have the organized team. They don't have the organized communication. They don't have the organized just mindset. And I think it comes down to the fact there has been so many roster changes for this Fang squad. If anybody is in the Discord, you can see Fang has changed teams about 3 times, and the roster has changed with that, I think, even more than that. So there's just a big lack of just familiarity with each other, as Smoke is gonna somehow not shoot his camera in that situation. I thought that was a certain camera out of the picture there. But as Kyra is in a very, very interesting spot. I actually have no idea where he is. Just in that very dark, dark corner.
It's in Small Tower. It's actually a really old spot. Surprised it's still in the game. That could be used, actually, if the attackers are not able to drone them out effectively. You could result in a lot of frags for Kyra. Actually, he's just gonna rotate out of this Small Tower hold as the attackers are going for a...
I think Master Bedroom push here?
Yeah, Master Bedroom push. And it's a minute, it's uncontested. They have that wall open, and there's nobody to answer for it.
Where is this? They actually, the Smoke I would expect here already to be chucking the Smoke, as always. So he's setting up that wall, but Smoke is gonna go down just like that. And this is looking to be a really nice push, but Cheesecake able to get the kill onto the Thermite through the floor. And that's why you use those C4s, and that's why you need those C4s, as Yeens are gonna be coming out as well. And Gavin able to get the kill with the Yin. This is shaping up to be a really nice push here from Fang. Obviously, it's not anymore as numbers right back in favor, but it's 2-2. Good trade out there from Verbal. It's up to Verbal and Gavin now. Kyra is still in the roam. Both of the players are actually on the roam. And the diffuser is actually outside.
And Buck is down as well.
So the down but not out, that actually could be getting picked up, so it is 3-2 here. But the runout is going to be happening. Buck, why aren't you shooting him? What was Buck doing there?
Buck just went and got some hot Cheetos. He just got back. Give him a minute.
I have no idea what happened there. That was an easy frag, and it could have been 3-1 here. Losing that player because of just Buck's, I was gonna say lack of just shooting, lack of being there in the moment, that could flip this round. I'm really confused. I think he definitely thought he was gonna be dead, and that's why when he got picked up, he was basically just not moving. I think he did potentially just go get a snack. Good nade comes out, but that's going to be diffuser down, and that nade could possibly come. What a kill there from Kyra! Just going through the wall, knowing when that rotate is going to come through. One down, diffuser's out of the picture, and just a headshot. What a great peek, and what is it going to come down to? That Buck getting the hot Cheetos.
And losing one of your players. Just, like I said, it's just simple stuff, that you need to have the basics down for a team that Fang just do not have.
They looked kind of dismembered almost. They just didn't look as a unit. When a team
GG guys.
Hey, Jesus. When a team is as a unit, when a team is gelled together and just forms something very good. It's like a soccer ball. I'm going to use a soccer ball as a reference because it's the World Cup going on right now. When you have a soccer ball that has really bad seams and is breaking apart, you don't want to use that soccer ball. That's what Fang looked like. They looked like a really bad soccer ball. Whereas we saw Chromanite, they looked like a match ball, and you would want to use that team over and over and over again, and I think that was the difference. It was just not a gelled unit for Fang. They have to work on a lot of teamwork. They have to work on strategy as well. Maybe work on sights. There's just a lot of things to pull out from this match, especially, I think the biggest one, the overlying factor, is get more comfortable as a team.
Yes, definitely. But that is going to be it for the Fang versus Chromanite. Thank everybody for coming out and watching, and make sure you stick around, actually, for the in-game or post-game interviews.
And we're going to be seeing a little bit of what was going on inside the head of the Chromanite players as they push through a 2-0 win on Oregon and on Coastline. So we'll be right back with you guys in just a moment here, so stick around.